Hi, my name is CJ Poligo. I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the LDS. I am married. Things were going good. Then I'm hit with a doozy. My wife and I was at an outdoor Christmas celebration. She sat me down next to a fire. She explained to me that she wanted to go to the same Methodist church her daughter and stepmother went to. I was floored. She went over the reasons that she felt this was the right decision for her. First, the Methodist church she wanted to go to was considerably smaller in membership than the LDS church we were going to. She had an anxiety with large crowds. Her daughter and stepmother went to the Methodist church. She wanted to be near them in all their doings. I understood that. Also, before meeting me, she used to live with a boyfriend that almost killed her several times in fights. The house they were living at was just a stone's throw from the LDS church I was attending. She had strong flashbacks each time she got near. She was scared I would be mad. I wasn't. I did want her to remain strong with the LDS faith, though. She told me she would pray about that. My wife had a few experiences that were detrimental to a new member in the LDS church. She felt that some LDS members slighted her in their goings on. I did see where she was coming from. I tried to ease her mind. During the time I began to go to the LDS church alone, I would go to the LDS church a few weeks, and then go to the Methodist church for a few weeks. I wanted to have time with my wife's daughter, who I was developing a strong, loving relationship with. You could always count on my wife, her daughter, and my wife's stepmom to be at the Methodist church several times a week. This particular Methodist church said no to any physical forms of affection shown on the church's property. Hugging and kissing were out the window. Stepmom took that even further and told my wife and me to keep them off her property and presents also. Gospel music was the only thing listened to both at the Methodist church and with stepmom. The LDS religion was more lax on affection and music. Hugging and kissing were encouraged. Secular music was okay, other than in the chapel, as long as we kept it clean. These differences provided a bump when I went to the Methodist church. I took my worries to two LDS friends, Brother Rasmussen and DeFord.
What do we do when someone we love decides that they have a shift in their faith, or at least in their practice of their faith? And that is a question that almost everybody's asking today. It's very common. It's something that's happening just about to everyone. There is a constant look at priorities and the way that we manifest those in the practice of our faith. And it sounds like your wife's priorities have to do with the family, and maybe even not necessarily custody, but the comfort and lack of awkwardness with dealing with family members, but also in her own situation with crowds and things like that. Mm-hmm. She was making some pretty good choices with good priorities in mind, more selfless than selfish. And so I don't necessarily fault her for making those decisions. It can hurt, though, when we know that we've made covenants and that we know that we have desires to be with them forever, and we feel like I have felt in the past that the priority to be with the family forever is a lot less on the priority list when they make decisions that are less than that. But so it's a give and take.
I guess maybe I'm just aware that you're in kind of a situation that is not what you feel to be perfect, because it's not, but it's also somewhat common.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I think your concern is that you might feel that there's a solution.
Mm-hmm.
When sometimes, when some of our members of our family are going one way a little bit,
yeah,
sometimes they're going other ways, and we want to be united, and we're not sure how that looks, or we have an idea of how that should look. And that can be hard, and there's no real right solution. I don't think there's any one right thing. And when I think about, I want you to feel comfortable doing what you're doing in all aspects, because I want you to feel comfortable supporting your wife and your child doing what they do, and feeling that you can support them, and that's okay for you to do.
Okay.
Because ultimately, as we discussed, in church a couple weeks ago, our marriage is about you supporting that one person, and you're their cheerleader no matter what. And we talk about, the to have and the hold, and to, and better or worse. But sometimes, when we talk in the marriage covenant, but we imagine those better or worse are for richer and poor, and sickness and health. So we think, okay, when we're poor, well, I've always been poor. Sick, well, what does that mean when you get pneumonia? But what if they're having a crisis of faith? And what if their crisis of faith means that they feel that they found their place, and that faith place is not where you would like them to be because it's not yours?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you need to have the faith that your prayers are being heard just as they are, and that the things that you are doing to support her are the right things, and that they're good things to do, even if they're not what you feel would be optimal.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. I think the answer to all of it is just love. Just like Shane said, really, we just keep loving, and we keep pushing forward and having faith that it's going to be all right. Jesus makes everything all right, and it'll be fine as long as you're doing the right things. And don't use the church as a club or a division. You can ask her, what did you learn in church today? How did it go today? And then you can share with her what you learned in church today, and you listen and you share. And that's a good way to keep up support and conversation and love. And if we close the door on somebody, they rarely will come through that door again. And I mean that in a way, like if we close the door by saying, well, if you're not a member, then or if you're not going to be faithful to your membership, then I'm not going to love you because you don't deserve the love because you've made a bad choice. That closes a door that rarely will be opened again. Even if we try to open it, they will always feel it's closed. And so we just need to keep a door open and allow with our love and kindness to let them know that anytime they are ready to come back in, they can.
Okay. I also had some fears about this assignment of doing a podcast on my religion versus my family's religion in my household. Find out why on the next episode of Old Time Religion.